So in this video, we will share about the business psychologies of Kaizen process, and you will learn to understand the translations of Kaizen, the discussions of the Kaizen process, possible pros and cons of the Kaizen process, alternative to the Kaizen process. So let's get started. Kaizen, meaning continuous improvement, can ensure proper management and effective performance in a company. Discover the definitions of Kaizen and its cultural origins. Explore examples of Kaizen on the personal and group level of the potential issue in implementations. What is Kaizen? Kaizen in Japanese word means continuous improvement. It is made up of two characters in Japanese, kai, which means change, and zen, which means good. It's used to describe a company's culture where everybody, from the CEO to the front desk clerk, regularly evaluates his or her work and thinks of a way to improve. The concept is that small steps on a regular basis will lead to large improvements over time. Kaizen is a slow but ongoing process of improvements, not a blitz or quickly implemented set of changes. The improvements are suggested by the person doing the work, not an outside evaluations team. If a worker has a problems to address or considering whether a change will make sense, he should pull in several team members for quick discussions and brainstorming sections, and then decide what to do from there. How do you implement Kaizen? It is important to note that Kaizen is a way of thinking, not projects to complete. To implement it, all employees should be receive trainings on the concept of Kaizen and should have some guidelines in terms of what they need to do before implementing a change. For example, it may be fine for an office worker to change his or her handling of paperwork without any discussions. A change in the production process, though, may impact multiple teams and should be discussed with all impacted parties before implementations. In addition, most production staff will be subject to safety regulations and will have detailed documentations on accurate performance, and these need to be in place before a change is made. It is also important that management is trained and be behind the effort. Kaizen will result in many more suggestions for improvement and changes, and will take away for a rigid focus on moving terms quickly through the existing production process. Management must be ready to be accept some ways away from the current work to focus on changes with longer range impact. So far, we have discussed Kaizen in business setting. It can also be used in other settings, including your personal life. To implement it, just set a regular times for reflections on the things you do, perhaps daily at a specific time or a couple of times per week. Pay special attention to regular things you do that don't go very well. Perhaps your family is always in the car later than planned. Do you drag a specific choice on the weekends that takes a long time? Look for a small way you can improve these practices and be patient. Over time, small improvement will be combined into faster, better ways to do the things you need to accomplish. So, what can go wrong? Kaizen is a new way of looking at things. And as with any change, things can go wrong. Here are some common issues with implementations. Management doesn't support change. One of the underlying assumptions in Kaizen is that employees are able to make small, ongoing changes in their work. If management does not allow modifications, the effort will fail. Frustrations with slow results. Some companies and cultures focus on quick, dramatic improvements and can find a focus on making small changes very frustrating. employee not motivated to change. In some companies, members of the long-term staff have performed the same functions for many years in the same way. They may be reluctant to consider alternatives to their current method or to change any aspect of their proven model. What are the alternatives? Kaizen has a focus on small, slow, ongoing change. This fits well with some culture, but some others are more focused on quick, hard-hitting methods of improvements. In those cultures, a better fit might be business process re-engineering, the BPR program, where a team reviews all current processes and then suggests new ones that would still meet company goals and metrics, but will increase productivity or reduce costs. In this type of program, larger changes are implemented in a fairly short time frame, and then they are held constant while results are tabulated. So, what is the lesson summary for today? Kaizen is a Japanese word meaning continuous improvement. It's made up of two characters in Japanese: Kai, which means change, and Zen, which means good. It is used to describe a company's culture where everybody, from the CEO to the front desk clerk, regularly evaluates his or her work and thinks of ways to improve it. The concept is that small steps on a regular basis will lead to large improvements over time. To implement it, all employees should receive trainings on a concept of Kaizen and should have some guidelines in terms of what they need to do before implementing a change. It is also important that management be trained and behind the effort. Kaizen may not work if management doesn't support change. Employees have frustrations with the slow result, or employees are not motivated to change. One alternative to Kaizen is business process re-engineering, the BPR program, where a team reviews all current processes and then suggests new ones that will still meet company goals and metrics, but will increase productivity or reduce costs. That's all for my sharing in today's video. As always, if you learned something new in my video, please give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and turn on the notifications bell. My name is Vivienne. I am a business software coach, and I see you in my next video.